Chris, just wait. Oh.
There's somebody's saying about a lot of people struggle with that. Anyway, we're live.
Not what? We're live?
Well. Streaming status. Perfect.
Hi everyone. Hi there.
Hi everyone, no viewers, but there are thousands will watch it.
Welcome.
When we become famous, Jen, for
Fancy dress yoga.
Fancy dress yoga. There's a niche for everything. I saw a program about a guy who's famous for wanting to be a mermaid, so.
Was he a merman? Or did he actually did he want to be a mermaid?
Probably, I think it's
trans.
It's trans mermaid, but we agree with that. Be the rainbow. Right, see you later.
Bye.
Viewers, you've got friends now, Jen, look, 6.
Yay! Hi everyone! Chris and I were just having some random chats. It's probably a good job that you weren't here earlier. He was telling me the other night.
Don't forget to Instagram friends.
I know.
And took friends on there.
Yeah, there's no one on it.
I know there's not yet.
I'll let him in, don't worry.
You've done this before, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's not your first time on the merry-go-round.
No, so Chris, as we were going to sleep last night, says, you know you're very beautiful without your makeup, and you're beautiful with your makeup, you're beautiful without your makeup. And apparently he'd been watching I was like, what does he want? But apparently he'd been watching a programme, how a lot of people in this current situation are a bit conscious of not having their hair dyed, their eyebrows done, and looking less maintained, but meh, whatever, you are who you are. Enjoy being you, I say. Rock on. It's not to say that I don't dye my hair, but I'm not bothered if it doesn't happen. But anyhow, we've got a couple of minutes to go, and then we're going to get started. We've got peeps on Zoom. I'm going to let the Instagram folks into the room as well. In fact, I'll let them in now, and we'll get started. Hi everyone, welcome to Rise, welcome to Chill 13. We've got a nice, lovely soft flow for you this evening. Lots of hip openers, a couple of back bends, lots of some nice juicy folds. What else we got? Just some really gentle, nice poses to allow us to just release, let go, not hold on to anything that we don't need to. So yeah, we've got just over a minute. What can I be telling you? Well, we had in our diaries, we still have, our summer party in June, but after last night's release from the government, it might be more like July. Hopefully the bloody Christmas party will still be going. I'll be gutted if we don't have a Christmas party. What else we got going on? If you want to listen to music while we do our session, we've got music on Spotify. If you just go to rise.co.uk/online, that's Rise the One, you can find our links to the Spotify tunes, and you have some lovely floaty music in the background as well. So yeah, feel free to grab those. You might also want to grab something block-like, something strap-like, a towel, a tie, a belt, anything like that, a book. So grab some of those if you've got those nearby. We will be using those throughout the session. And yeah, make sure your mat's there. If you want to grab a drink, grab your drink. And yeah, I hope you've all had a good day and you're ready to have a little bit of yoga time. Well done for being here and getting on your mat, I say. All right, come on down and we'll start to get ready from here on in. We're going to start in a child's pose. Welcome everyone, hi there, my name's Jen, welcome to Chill 13. We're going to start in a wide leg child's pose today. If you've not done one of our chill sessions already, it's a really nice slow flowing class, and we are going to be moving through some nice gentle poses. I'll give you modifications as we're going through so you're able to make the poses your own, and we're going to be spending a little bit of time in each one so you have time to see how the body feels, see whether you want to move around a little bit and change it up. And just feel comfortable in your own skin, but also in your yoga practice as well. So, nice start off with child's pose. Now you can make this quite active or you can make it quite passive, it's entirely up to you. So we're going to start off by taking the knees wide, bringing the big toes to touch, And if you want to start with the brick from the off, you can always bring the forehead onto a brick here. You can extend the arms out in front, or you can make a nice gentle stretch to the triceps by bringing the hands behind the back of the neck into prayer pose. So any variation of a child's pose, closing those eyes, letting us find some space in the backbone between the vertebrae. With each exhale, letting the hips sink down towards the heel. Whatever's been happening in your day or over this last week in your life, if you feel like you're needing a little bit of head space, a little bit of downtime, or just some time for yourself, you're in the right place. Just give yourself a few breaths here. And you can change the breath around a little bit. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Or if you prefer to take the breath in through the nose and out through the nose, you could try keeping the mouth closed, trying a bit more of a fiery breath in through the nose and then out again through the nose, if that works for you. Allowing gravity to soften us down towards our mats, releasing into the hips, into the shoulders. I'm just going to take another 3 breaths here. So we will be doing some standing poses, but there's not many. Most of our class will be based down on the floor. One final breath. Draw in what you need on that inhale. And then on the exhale, releasing the hands, pressing down into the hands as we roll up through the spine into an all fours. So that gives you opportunity to walk the knees back underneath the hips, or to keep your hands out in front, though, to start off with. So we're just going to start working into some hip circles. So gradually starting to move the hips around as if you were drawing a circle with them. And if you want to make it a bit juicier, you can drop them down a bit lower. As you drop the hips down, obviously the weight of the body allows you to stretch out through the front of the hips. This is also a great opportunity to stretch out into the wrists, practicing taking a little bit of weight through the knuckles. So you'll hear me talking about taking weight through the second knuckle. What I mean by that is top knuckle nearest to the fingernail, and then your second knuckle here, as opposed to taking the weight down through the heels of the hand. So if you've not already changed direction, change direction. If you want to draw something other than a circle, feel free. So our aim here is just to let go of all expectations. I don't want you to feel any restrictions, any tension in your practice. Just give yourself this time to feel good, to re-energize, and to loosen off. Well done. Working your way back through center and taking the hands underneath the shoulders. So feel like you're in that strong all fours position that we call table. We're going to take a kneeling Superman. So we're going to start to extend the right foot and the left fingers towards the back and the front of your mat respectively. Gazes down towards the ground, and then on your next breath in, we're going to draw the elbow and knee that are lifted together in a little crunch. So you're working into the abdominals here. So think about what I said about that second knuckle. On the right hand, I want you to be pressing down through those knuckles rather than the heel of the right hand. So if you suffer with any inflammation or any tenderness in that right wrist or left wrist as we swap sides, this should help you out. Well done. Release the left hand down and the right knee down. Readjust if you need to, and let's go on the other side. Right arm floats high, left foot extends. Stretch out. Feel that back body firing up and engaging, building a bit of heat in the glute. And then start on those knee drives when you're ready. So knee and elbow make that little touch. And then extend and lengthen out as much as you can. Imagine somebody's pulling on your fingers and toes. I want you to really stretch out. So finding, again, a bit more space between the vertebrae here. Working to stretching the shoulders and the knee. One more. Well done. Bringing the knee and elbow to touch and then floating down with the hand, with the knee. Well done. Starting to just drop the hips down towards the heels. We're going to take a little lateral bend. So taking the right hand down Inhale the left arm up high. Try not to bring it forwards or back. See if you can bring it in line with the left ear. As you exhale, allow yourself to stretch over towards the right hand side of the space that you're in. So really feel like you're pressing a left hip away. If it feels okay, you can start to take the gaze underneath that left arm towards the ceiling. That's going to enable you to open up this top shoulder a little bit more. So you should feel that really lovely stretch out through the left side of the body, lengthening all those muscles which can shorten over time as a result of sitting down too much. Okay, breathe in and lift. Swap sides. Left hand comes down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Exhale again, stretching, reaching over. If you need to take your left hand away a little bit more, that's okay. It's a bit more challenging if you take the left hand closer to that left ankle. So you can keep the gaze moving forwards. Again, imagine someone's pulling you on that fingertip. So extending on the exhale. Maybe looking underneath the right armpit this time. Just focusing on not having the shoulder next to the ear. See if you can slide the shoulder down a little bit. Maybe close the eyes just for 2 more breaths. Nice, well done. Releasing back to centre and then walking the hands forwards. All right, from here we are going to take a forward fold. Tuck the toes, inhale, lift up, stretch up nice and high. Taking a downward facing dog, lots and lots of knee bend if you feel like you need it. The more knee bend you take, the more you're going to be able to work into your shoulders. If you're focusing on shoulders, see if you can squeeze the elbows in a little bit, engaging the upper arms, and then drop the head right down between the upper arms, gazing towards the toes. If you want more of a stretch out through the legs, start to lengthen out one leg while keeping the other leg bent, and then swap sides. So lengthen one, bend the other. Just walking the dog, stretching out, maintaining that squeeze if you can through the upper arms, and letting the back of the neck stay nice and long. For another 3, 2, and 1. Taking the gaze forwards towards the fingers. Nice little baby steps. See if you can keep a bit of length to the legs as you start to walk your way forwards. So big toes coming towards the thumbs. Inhale, take a halfway lift, flatten the back out, release the shoulders away from the ears, and then we're going to start to roll down into our forward fold. So releasing, it doesn't matter whether your hands touch the floor, okay? It doesn't matter at all. You can have your hands dangling down if you want. Our aim here is just to allow gravity to assist us to roll down through the spine. So you can take the weight into the balls of the feet. You can even play around with rocking it into the heels, just having a little move around in your forward fold. But ideally, you want to end up with a weight in the balls of the feet. If you feel like you need to lift the toes and spread them out and replant, go ahead. And then from here, just let the head drop one more time. Take a breath in, inhale, and exhale. Just allow yourself to soften a little bit deeper. Just breathing some space into the back of the legs. So forward folds like this are a semi-inversion because you've got your head down below the heart. Really nice way of calming the body, the nervous system. A good way of battling fatigue as well if you've been a bit restless and not sleeping well. It's all about the quality of your sleep. Okay, let's take a little bit of a release here. So inhale, slight lift, only slightly. And then I want you to lift the left heel up as you bend into the left leg. This should allow you, if your legs weren't straight before, just to straighten out on this one side. And then we're going to swap it over. So bringing the right heel up and just maybe taking that left leg a little bit straighter than it was before. And again, swap it over. Keep the crown of the head moving down towards the earth so the gaze is towards the back edge of your mat. Final time. Well done. From there, bring the right heel down, bend the knees as much as you need to in order to keep both legs the same. And then inhale, root to rise. Rising up all the way up towards the top. And then exhaling, coming all the way down with the hands to the heart centre. So we're going to take a wide leg variation of that forward fold now. So take a big step out towards the side edge of your mat. Taking both feet to parallel, we're going to take the weight back into the balls of the feet. Take the hands onto the hips if you can. Standing up nice and tall, squeezing the belly in so that we're not overarching the lower back. And then start to fold. So you're aiming to come down with a nice flat back here. And you can only come down as far as you can, obviously. I'm just going to grab you the brick. So if you feel like you can't come down to the floor, you can always use a book or a brick just to give yourself that extra little bit of height through the arms. It's like an arm extension, but you should still feel that stretch down the back of the legs. If you're able to come down a bit deeper, then that's fine. Come down a bit lower. So stretching down, releasing the crown of the head right down. And again, just working into that little pedal through the legs. So you can hang out here. If you want, take a little lift of the right heel, stretching out, working the adductors a little bit here as well, the ones on the inside of your left thigh, as well as the hamstrings, and then pressing down into the right heel as you lift up through the left. So gentle stretch for the inner thighs. And again, swap it over, right heel lifts, and then pop it down, left heel lifts. Well done. Both heels come down. Inhale. Coming up into this straight arm position, we're going to drop the weight towards the right hand side. So we're coming into what we call a surface lunge, or Skandasana as it's known. Okay, so taking the weight through the right ankle. If you feel like you're a bit wobbly, you can always pop your book or your brick underneath the back of your right heel, just allowing you to find a bit of height through your torso. So you're extending away through the left leg with the heel down and the toes up. So we're going to stay here, so it works on balance, especially if you've not got that support, as well as working on that stretch. You can take the hands off the floor to heart center. You might want to take the hands into the air if you're feeling super steady tonight. We're just going to hang out here for another 5, 4, well done, 3, 2, and 1, perfect. Allow yourself to come back through center. Use the hands to support you. Make sure both feet are parallel again, and let's have a little twist out in our wide-legged forward fold. So again, if you don't feel that you can bring your hand down to the floor, bring your hand onto something else, so a book or brick or whatever. Okay, so taking a sweep up on the next breath in with the right arm. Engaging and lifting, so finding that rotation through the spine here, as well as that stretch out through the back of the legs. Try to control the breath as you gaze over towards the front side of your mat, or up to the right hand if you're feeling okay with that. Breathing some space into the torso, into the belly, into the lungs. For another 3, 2, 1. Float down with the right hand and swap sides. So the right hand comes down where the left was, just underneath the chest. Inhale, rise up with the left arm. Keep those sit bones pressing back, but keep the weight into the heels. So you're really lifting up the sit bones nice and high, extending through the legs as much as you're able to. 1 more breath, inhale, and exhale, floating down with the left hand. Visiting our surface lunge on the other side now, so grab your brick if you need it, coming down into a toe stand on the left leg, extending through the right. Hands can remain down on the floor, and you can use that support underneath the left heel. Taking hands to heart center, catching the balance. Maybe allow the arms to extend up nice and high, so reaching up tall, spine lengthening, shoulders moving down the back as the fingers lift tall. For 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Hands come down onto the mat. Work your way back to center. Walk the hands all the way towards the front side of the mat and take a big step forward there. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale all the way down, taking that final little forward fold. Hands come down to the mat, and we're going to step down onto the knees and take a little cat-cow. It's great for improving your posture, by the way, cat-cow. So you're working into that flexibility of the spine. So when you're ready, let's go. Squeeze in that belly, inhale. Start to tilt the sit bones back, drop the belly down, and lift up through the gaze. So you don't want to jerk the head back, just keep looking forwards on this one. Slide the shoulder blades away from the ears, so you're finding that little dish shape at the lower back. And then exhale, tucking the pelvis under, rounding through the spine, letting the gaze drop towards the toes at the back of your mat. And again, inhale. So working with your breath, not mine. It's really good for stimulating the organs in the belly and kickstarting the adrenal glands. Feel that separation between the shoulder blades. 1 more little flow, and then we're going to take a flowing sphinx, which I always find really difficult to say. Rounding through the spine. And then releasing back to table. Well done. Slide the knees back a little bit and then take the weight forward. So you're in this kneeling press position. So squeezing the elbows in. Let's take a little bit of resistance work as we lower down, but keeping the elbows working towards the rib cage and the back edge of your mat for 3, 2, 1. Well done. Slide the hands forwards now. So elbows are under shoulders. We're going to take an inhale and a squeeze and a lift of the chest, resulting in that little back bend. And then exhaling, flowing down, bringing the forehead to the mat. And again, inhale, lift up. And exhale, release all the way down. You can probably come a little bit lower down than me. I'm just conscious of these microphones on my front. And again, inhale, lift up. If you want to come up a little bit more into a cobra pose and extend through the arms, if you find that your lower back is quite open, that's cool. Lowering down with the elbows, lowering down with the forehead. One more, inhale, lift. And exhale, lower down from there. Okay, twisted table coming up, or twisted dog. So press the hands underneath the shoulders, walk your way back to tabletop. I'll show you the twisted table first of all. Quite simply, you're just going to have a little reach back towards the outside of your left of your mat. So you're stretching through the upper back. Okay, if you want to take this from twist dog, you're going to tuck the toes, inhale, lift up through the sit bones, find that upside down V shape, and then take a little reach over towards your left calf with the right hand, or maybe your ankle if you're feeling quite stretchy in your twisted dog or table. So aiming here to find that rotation again through the spine. If you're in dog, start to work the heels down a little bit. Start to straighten out the legs a little bit more. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Keep those sit bones flying high for 3, 2, 1. Good. Come back through centre and swap sides. So if you're in table, just swap the left arm over to the right hand side of the mat. If you're taking a twist dog with me, take a breath in and then exhale. Release the left hand to the right calf. You can have it on the inside of the leg or the outside. It's totally up to you, or around the back of the heel. For 5, 4. Think about relaxing through the shoulders if you can. 2. And 1. Well done. Taking the weight forwards from your twisted dog and dropping the knees, coming into child's pose. So this time I'm going to give you the option of bringing the knees together, so it allows you to round through the spine a little bit more. If this isn't accessible for you, take the knees out wide as you were before. And any variations that you like, if you wanted to bring the block into play again, you could take the elbows onto the block and you can drop your forehead between the elbows down towards the ground. This will allow you to stretch out a lot more through the backs of the arms. If you want to give your shoulders a bit of a break, take the arms out behind you instead. You can maybe hold on to the backs of the feet, just softening into your child's pose. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done. Press down through the knuckles. Inhale, rise up. Find your tabletop. Bring the knees back through under the hips. Walk the hands back under the shoulders and find downward dog from there. Inhale, scoop the sit bones nice and high. So building a bit of strength through the arms and legs. Having a little wiggle around through the hips. And we're going to come into a seated forward fold now. So taking the gaze forward, start to creep the feet forwards and then lowering the bottom down. So grab your strap or whatever the equivalent of your strap is and your blocks, bring them to your side, dropping the bottom down and extending both legs out in front of you. So lots of knee bend if you like. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, reaching forwards. So extending the heart towards the toes. Don't worry about keeping the legs straight. Okay? Think more about pressing down through the heels and finding this fold from the hip here, from the waist. So imagine you've got a bar in front of you. So you're lifting up and over that bar with the belly, extending forwards. Doesn't matter if you can touch your toes, you can have your hands down on the floor. If you wanted to use your strap, you could take that around the balls of the feet. That will allow you to really hinge forward there from the hips. So forward fold, super yummy, as I said before, for if you're a little bit tired, feeling a little bit run down. Nice way of just calming the body down, finding a bit of energy here. Just for another 2 breaths. We're working into the hips, my least favourite, but where I need to work on most. One more breath, inhale. And exhale to soften. So we're going to take an easy seat now. So when you inhale, I want you to think about squeezing and lifting up. And then coming to sit in a cross-legged position. I'm going to go right leg in front of left leg. If you go the same way as me, that would be helpful. If you want to sit on a brick for this, you can again. That might make it a bit more comfortable through the legs for you. So we're going to take a palm to palm with the hand. So if you extend the arms out wide, and then bring the right hand in front of the left hand. So you're pressing the palms together like a sandwich. From there, we're going to create a little bit of tension through the shoulders by sliding the palms past and then taking that interlock grip. So we're going to pull elbow away from elbow. So you can really feel that strength in the upper back. Make sure you're sat nice and tall. So your spine is stacked one on top of the other. You can close your eyes a little bit if you want. Just going to hold here. Just strengthen the upper back. Relieving a little bit of stress for 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Oh, give the arms a bit of a shake. Now I'm going to pop the block out of the way here. We're going to take a half happy baby. I would advise moving the block if you can. So keeping that right leg nearby, we're going to take it into our right hand, should I say, our right arm, underneath the back of our right leg. We're going to take a half happy baby. So if you imagine you were doing your happy baby lying down, you're going to hold on to the outside edge of your right foot. Now, if you were lying down, you wouldn't have your leg across the body like this. You'd be thinking about taking this knee to the floor. So imagine the floor's behind you. You want to keep your heel and your knee in alignment here. So take a breath in and exhale. Start to pull on your foot, bringing the knee towards the space behind you. Try not to do this, okay? Think about puffing up the chest. That'll elongate the spine. Sitting up nice and tall. Well done, everyone. For another 3. This is a good prep for our fire log pose, which you're going to laugh at me when we go into next. 2. And 1. You can release a little bit as we transition. So taking that left leg and bringing the shin parallel to the front side of your mat. Now it might be that again you want to grab a block and just support that lower leg a little bit. So we're going to aim to bring this right foot on top of your left, okay? Now, this might feel really easy for a lot of people. It definitely doesn't for me. Okay? Now, to protect the knees, I want to make sure that both your sets of toes are facing forward. So the soles of the feet are parallel to the long sides of the mat. As I said, your brick can be quite useful. You can bolster yourself a little bit using the brick between the lower leg and the upper leg. If you're super open through the hips and you're quite happy in this pose, you might want to consider taking a bit of a forward fold. Okay? So breathe in. Only if it feels comfortable, you don't need to. And then start to forward fold. Okay, so moving as we did in that double leg forward fold, working at lengthening through the spine and just decreasing this angle at the hip. So keep those feet nice and flexed for me. Don't have to come too far to feel this one, or I don't at least. Some people can quite happily bring the forehead all the way down to a brick or the floor, and if that's you, I salute you. Deep breath in. And out. Well done for 3. Really deep stretch into the groin, the thighs, the calves. And 1. Well done. Take care when you're coming out of this pose. Inhale to lift. You might even want to lift that top leg off, taking the soles of the feet down towards the ground, and just gently windscreen wiper the legs one side to the other. Perfect. Okay, let's have a go on the other side. So taking the left leg in front now. If you want to grab that brick again and sit on it, that's cool. So nice, easy seated position. Taking that breath. This time we're going to bring the left hand in front of the right. So remember, we're making that sandwich, and then we're sliding the fingertips past one another. So we take that little grip. So again, drop the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale and pull. So sending the elbows as far away from each other as you possibly can. Again, just creating a little bit of tension there. In the upper back muscles, bit of isometric strengthening for 3, for 2, Fire log coming up. Or half happy baby first, sorry. And for 1, well done. So give the arms a shake if you need to. And then start to cradle your left lower leg with the left arm to start off with. Bringing the left hand on the outside of the left foot. And when you feel like you're ready and in position, squeeze up and lift up tall through the spine. Remember, knee in line with the heel. Inhale. Exhale, start to draw back as much as it feels okay to do so. Well done. So you can see I've got my right hand down on the floor to support and to try and lift up a little bit more. Keeping that nice straight flat back. Well done. Looking good at home. For 3, 2, 1. Slight little release, bringing that right shin parallel to the front edge of your mat. So essentially it's like a double pigeon pose. So it's a really strong position. And don't feel that you're hopeless at it. Just accept where you are. Just know where you are. This is me. I've accepted it. I'll get better. I just need to keep practicing. Okay, and the same goes for you in any of these positions that we do. So if you've got something to support you, you might want a cushion or something underneath, then you can, or under the bottom leg as well. That can feel quite nice. If you're able to take a little juicy forward fold here, just go steady. It's a tough one. You might feel it on the outside edge of your left hip. I feel it in my right groin as well. Keep that tallness to the spine if you can. For another 3. Well done. 2. And 1. Lovely. Take a little hold of that left foot, lift it up. Pop it down, bring the right leg in line with the right hip, and again just release one way then the other way. Perfect. Well done. So from here we're going to roll down onto our back and take a few stretches in reclined pigeon. So releasing all the way down. You might want to bring your block and strap with you just in case. I want you to hug the knees in, so press the lower back into the floor, give yourself a little massage. There's no spas open anywhere, so all we can do is give ourselves a massage. Alright, good stuff. Extend your right leg long. Keep that left knee drawn in towards the body. Try to press down through the right heel again so you activate your right leg. We're just going to work into this pose. It's called wind relieving pose. So keep the spine nice and long. Flex the left foot if you can and draw the knee right in towards the chest. Now you feel that into your left hip flexor. So it's not an ab workout. I don't want your shoulders to lift. I want you to keep nice and heavy through the upper body. For 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Release slightly and bring the right heel in towards your right hip. Bringing the left foot onto the right thigh. So taking a little figure 4 stretch first, and then we'll take a pigeon bridge. So releasing the left hand between the legs, you can take a hold around the back of the right leg. Maybe you want to extend that right foot up into the air, or it might be that you can take the hands around the front of your right shin. Either way, it's a good stretch out for the glute. I want you to think about this top knee and pressing it away towards the front of the room. Flexing this left ankle, making sure that the knee feels okay. So long spine, shoulders grounded, press that left knee away. Draw in with you, if you can, bringing the knee on that right leg a little bit closer towards the back of your mat as you press with that left knee. That's really going to deep stretch into that glute. Well done. For 3, I'm going to take a twist next. 2, 1. Release the shin or the back of the leg. Pop the right foot down on the floor and extend the arms out wide. Stretch out through the chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, start to roll onto the right hip, bringing the sole of your left foot down. Oops, I've got a block underneath there. Just by chance, it happened to be there. You can have it there if you like, or you can pop, if your foot doesn't come all the way down to the floor, you can pop your foot on a cushion or a rolled up blanket or a brick, just to add a little bit of support so you're not sort of hanging in limbo. But if you can come down to the floor, it just means you get a slightly deeper stretch. But everybody's hips are going to feel different in this pose. You might want to turn the gaze and look away towards the left hand. That can just increase the stretch and that rotation through the spine as well. So nice heavy shoulders. Breathing in and out for another 3. Nice little stretch and twist of the torso as well. 2. And 1. Good. Now bring the gaze back to centre. A little squeeze of the tummy. Come back through. That's it. So you just want to protect the back by squeezing the belly. Let's swap sides. Bring the left foot down. Lift up with the right leg. Pop it onto the left leg. And take a little squeeze in there. So hands around the back of the left thigh. Or maybe around the shin. Dropping the shoulders down. Pressing the right knee towards the front edge of your space. And you can make this super, super passive if you want. You don't have to press away with the right knee. Just enjoy the sensations that the pose brings. See where it takes you. No pressure to do anything the body doesn't want to do. Shoulders heavy for 3, 2, 1. Slowly release, bringing the left heel down. I'm just going to grab my brick and move it to the other side. Arms can come out wide. Inhale. And then slowly releasing over to the left-hand side. So I like a bit of support on this side because my right side of my groin is a little bit injured at the moment. So having that block underneath my foot feels like a bit of a release. I can then turn the head over towards the right for a bit more of a rotation through the spine. Letting the belly be soft, stretch it out through the abs. Nice heavy hips for 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Slowly bringing the gaze back through centre. A little switch on the abdominals as you roll back through centre. Perfect. Well done. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a little hug. A little rock and roll. And then rolling either to your side, come up to seated, or up and all the way over. Now crossing the legs, I always like to roll forward over the legs. So we're going to come into puppy pose or melting heart. So taking the weight forwards, it gives your ankles a bit of time to stretch out. Just extending one leg and then the other. So you're in that kneeling position once more. So we're going to extend the arms out in front of us. Now puppy pose is a bit less challenging than melting heart, and you can get a block involved as well. I'll give you the choices there. So it's a bit like child's pose, but instead of your hips working down towards your heels, your hips are now above your knees. So allowing your hands to stretch out and your forehead to gently rest down towards the floor. So it's important that the head is down on this one, so you feel that the neck's supported. If you wanted to bring your head onto your brick, that can make it less challenging if you feel like it's too much of a stretch out through the shoulders and the chest. If you want to make it more challenging, you're going to bring the chin down instead and work towards melting the chest down towards the earth in your melting heart pose. You want to make it more challenging still, and it's totally up to you. When I say challenging, you might not find it a challenge, so it's just an option. So you've got your brick and you can turn it on different ways, or if you've got a big thick dictionary or something, you can pop your hands onto that and then allow the head to rest down between, or maybe bring the chin down even from there as well. So you really feel this into the upper back and across the tops of the shoulders. Super nice way to release into the thoracic spine. Try not to let the shoulders hunch up next to the ears. See if you can focus them away down the back. You'll notice that your belly feels like it's having a stretch as well. Let it stretch out. Well done. Give me another 4 breaths here. Just feel the back body expand as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, and you let the breath leave the body, leave the lungs, allow the chest just to float down a tiny bit more. 2 more really nice, lovely flowing breaths from here. Well done, looking nice at home. And when you're ready, just sliding the block out of the way, pressing the hands into your mat and inhaling your way back up. Taking the hands back towards the knees. And we're going to, from here, rise on up. So you can tuck the chin to the chest and we can have a little roll up through the spine. Maybe rolling the shoulders back a couple of times. So you want to be in this nice long kneeling position. So we've got extension through the spine. From here we're going to take a little work for the core by taking a stretch through the back as well. So we're going to take the arms out wide. We're going to take an eagle arm. Now, eagle arms might not work for everybody. If it doesn't work for you, we're going to take the right arm over the left and just take a little hug position. Okay, if you can, taking the backs of the palms, the hands together, or maybe taking that secondary bind at the wrist, bringing the palms together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a lift up of the fingers on the inhale, and then as you exhale, I want you to squeeze in the belly and draw the elbows towards the belly button. And then we're going to inhale to lift up. You can let the gaze come all the way up, looking to the ceiling, just the fingertips. Exhale, little squeeze. One more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to centre. And release. Arms out wide. Take that little hug in. Left over right this time. Or maybe back of the hands, maybe palms. Let's go on the second side. So the reason we move our arms around is it just slightly alters how the stretch occurs in the back body. Inhale, lift up. We don't want one side wonky. Exhale, release. Elbows to the belly button. Squeeze in as tight as you can through the abs. Two more. Inhale. So it's a little bit like a kneeling sit-up. Maybe extending and lifting the gaze towards the fingertips. Squeeze it in. One more. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. Well done. Inhale, lift up to centre and release the hands. Give the arms a bit of a shake out. Now a bit of work for the quads here, a bit of strengthening work. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to drop down, hips to heels. But before we do, just tuck the toes underneath, okay? So you can see there I've got my toes tucked, so you've got a bit more stability. So we're going to take a little rock forwards and back, a little leaning pose. So we're going to take the arms out. We're going to take a breath in. And then as you exhale, lifting up through the hips first, inhale. And then as you exhale, start to move back. Okay, so you're keeping that nice, long, strong plank position. Inhale, squeeze up. So you can see knees run under the hips. Exhale, release back. So we're starting to really strengthen the quads, okay, where they attach to the tendons and ligaments around the knees. So stretching out here, lower down. Because you've got the toes tucked, it's a little bit less challenging. If you wanted more challenge, you could always release the feet. Okay, if you find it challenging on the knees themselves, as in they're uncomfortable on the mat, you can always double your mat over and fold it back on itself. Okay, we'll leave it there for now. Well done. Take the hands down underneath the shoulders, working your way here into, what time have we got left? All right, let's take a little inversion. From here, we're just going to work into that cross leg at the ankles, and we're going to release the hips down towards the heels. You might want to grab your block as you come down. As you roll back over the ankles, you can get a little bit of a stretch out here on the ankles as well. So bringing the sit bones down onto the ground, you can then extend the legs out in front. So we're going to roll down into a reclined bound angle. And the reason I said bring your bring your block is because it can feel quite nice to take a little release underneath the hips. So taking the soles of the feet together, letting the knees drop out to the side, and it might be that you pop a book or maybe a rolled up blanket might be more comfortable than a book underneath the back of the hips. That can just let you drop the knees out to the side. Hands can come onto the belly and heart, or you can release them up over the head or maybe down to the side, whatever feels comfortable for you. Again, this is a little semi-inversion because we've got the hips lifted and the blood flow is travelling down nicely towards the upper body. Heart doesn't have to work too hard, so it's a good way of calming the body right down. So just allowing ourselves to slowly move towards our Shavasana. We're going to take another inversion, a few wiggles, and then we're releasing down fully. So if your hips are tight, you might feel like this is plenty of a release into the groin, the front of the hips. The good thing about having the brick underneath you, it allows plenty of room for gravity to draw the knees down towards the ground. So you don't need to push on anything or pull, just chill out for another 3 breaths. Just let the breath move you through these last few positions. Releasing on the next inhale, just slowly moving the knees in together. So from here we're going to work into a bridge. So I want you to shuffle the heels back towards your hips. Now I've still got the brick underneath me, and that's okay. This might feel like a nice way to support your bridge. You might want to turn your brick onto its side. You might even want to turn it onto its full length if you have a brick, of course. Don't worry too much if you've got a book. You want to make sure that it's something that you're comfortable with. So if you're up quite high, if you've not got a brick to hand or anything like that, you can simply press down into the feet and float the hips up. Okay? You might then want to interlock the hands behind the lower back, maybe walk onto your shoulders a little bit, lifting up quite high. But obviously without the support there, you may be not wanting to stay there as long. If you do have the support of a cushion or something a bit softer, you might want to extend the legs out a little bit, okay? Letting the arms travel down to the side body, and this really, really is nice across the front of the chest, across the shoulders, all the way across the belly, really stretching out those stomach muscles, across the hips, all the way down the legs. So it's like a lifted Shavasana. I want you to give me 3 deep breaths here. Think about what you might be lacking at the moment in your life, in your body. I want you to breathe that in. If there's anything you want to get rid of which is not serving you, breathe it out. It's that simple. Breathing in. Breathing out. Naturally something we do all day, not something we naturally think about. So by focusing on the breath, we can let it take us to places. We can find comfort, we can find relaxation, we can find calm. If you're feeling the need to release the block and come down, walk the feet back. If you've not got a block in there at all, maybe just releasing slowly down through the spine, one at a time. And then just give yourself a little hug in, one knee in, and then the other. Gently give yourself a hug. You might want to bring the chin towards the chest. Again, just rounding through the spine, slowly, gently rocking from one side to the other to release. If there's any other positions that you want to take to let go and relax, feel free. You might gently want to release the feet to the ground, arms outspread, moving the knees one way, and then the other, just to release into the lower back after your semi-inversion. Feel free to stay in your twist for a bit longer. Maybe take a happy baby if that suits you. I'm going to head down for this last minute into Shavasana. So you can take the legs long, heels to top 2 corners of your mat. Releasing the arms down by the side body, the palms open. Being receptive and open through this posture. Using the breath to relax the physical body whilst training, maintaining concentration of the brain. You might take a slightly deeper breath in and match that with a slightly deeper exhale. So wherever your practice has taken you tonight, hopefully you found what you needed. Just going to take one more breath here. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit calmer, more relaxed, and ready for a nice night's sleep. Draw the knees in one at a time. Feel free to stay in Shavasana if you prefer. You don't have to come up to seated V. You can stay here for as long as you like. I'm going to rock and roll my way up. Maybe crossing the legs, you can sit back on a brick if you like. And taking one final deep breath together. Inhale through the nose. Bringing the palms to touch. Exhaling down to the heart center. Thanks everyone, thanks for joining me. You did a fab job. Take care of yourselves. Namaste. Well done everyone.